And if you want John Higgins, Matthew Stevens, 6-3 Higgins leads the Welshman. They play to a finish this afternoon. That's on the red button and on the BBC Sport app in the company of Alan McManus and Joe Perry. Good afternoon then to Steve Davis and Dennis Taylor.
Very good afternoon, Jason, and a very good afternoon, everyone. What a fascinating match we've got for you here in the Crucible Theatre this afternoon. They've only played each other on one occasion, and Tipchow won that 5-4. That was the German Masters back in 2014. And that's a pretty good safety shot, although it's just ran a bit too late for Ed World Championship.
One.
Just look at the pace of the table. That one. The number of the all-time greats who seem to be
Six.
The gentleman sitting next to me has done it on.
Can't believe there's anybody in the snooker world who's not. It's a wonderful asset to have, but enough in your own ability. Oh, an excellent shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan for that. Well, he was a little way out with that, but could count himself at
lift off from the rocket. And a little bit of an edgy one there from Tipchow. I don't think that's hard enough, is it?
Looks like he's playing safe, doesn't it? Although he doesn't know if he can hit the edge enough. Complete miss-hit there. Where's this red going?
One.
Now this red is dropping on. At least
Six.
It'll clear the path. Taking the other red.
Seven.
So the pink obviously. But it's all gone wrong.
He's a threat to any player in the game.
13.
Well aware. Oh no, has he left this? Oh, what was that? Was that a foul, was it? I don't know. It's weird what happened there.
It just sounded like a push.
No, it wasn't a foul. Just completely misjudged whether he could get through the gap. The speed at which... Excellent shot. How easy does he make those look? When he actually delivers the cue, it's still super smooth.
Four.
And
Five.
straight away removing. And well, this is his second there, as you see. He's only 35 away from that.
13.
Biggest matches ever seen at the Crucible Theatre, regardless of how the frames go.
Cues at 2 metres.
21. $29. $36. $37.
Referee's going to have to be pretty quick this afternoon. Someone's pressing a button backstage from World Snooker. He's needed a couple of bites of the cherry, but he looks very...
53.
That's for this break here.
$69. $76.
Wow, that's... I've seen it amazing. It's going to need a good
88.
pink. Superb.
94.
Well, he might have missed one earlier on, but what a fabulous effort there from the Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. Fabulous century break. He leads 1 frame to 0.
BBC Two. I'm going home. Good start for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Trademark left-handed break off from Ronnie. Red though.
That was far rather than just away from it. He looks very edgy at the start of this session here. I agree with John Parrott. Ronnie was very...
One.
From Ronnie. And there could be quite a few to follow, looking at the way the balls are situated.
Nine.
Spoiled for choice there with 3. Can forgive him for that one.
17.
And I know it's very early days. They're all black so far. I have to forget about it
24.
now. He's not the correct side here.
25.
Of course, if any, the pickup £50,000,
31.
£15,000. Well, that's all gone.
Red. Just the safety.
A bit of beating. This is at present.
One. 9. $14. 23. 31.
O'Sullivan.
Not enough points there
45.
to make a second century there.
$53.
Just
60.
coming up to 8 minutes for the second frame.
Yes, and it's making the game look ridiculously easy at the moment. And the problem for Tepchire, I knew, is he knows how much he has done. Ronnie just pounces. He loves that type of Tepchire in trouble already in this match. Played like he's another wonderful break from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
85 for the second frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
By the way, that second frame was 9 minutes and 4 seconds.
Well, that's very good. Beautifully judged that. Although the red that he did make contact with, great, there's a little bit of angle, but this is a tough one. No. Now where's that red going to finish? It's not bad. They left something easier than this. So Davis, that's what he advised me. He said you play the percentages of this game, and I suppose it still applies. And he was 20 years undefeated world champion, the great Joe Davis. That's another careless one.
One.
And straight away with 93% with his putt success rate.
Especially if he keeps Tepchire and Un-Nooh in. He's sort of living in the shadow of the grave shootout. Most more important things at stake, and who's the most naturally
30.
gifted, an abundance of that. But I don't think anybody could compete with Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$29.
Didn't take long, did it?
As another great
37.
name from the past and 10 times world champion. He's playing like a symphony orchestra. Now, what's the kiss going to do here? When you're
Kit to play into. Well, he didn't just pot it, he controlled the cue ball as well. That shows you how
47.
confident he was of getting it in. A lot of players would have just played that plain ball, made sure of the
48.
pot and hoped that they would be on a bit out of position, but quickly back into it. Seems to have got the speed
50.
of the table pretty good now.
$51.
Sort of playing behind closed doors setup.
I just think he enjoyed this game.
$65. 66.
There was all sorts of, the tournament was played behind closed doors, everybody making a case for players who hadn't actually won the tournament. It was Ronnie O'Sullivan.
74.
Though.
It's the whole of the table here. Jury break here.
So this is about as fast as you can play.
88.
Walking around the table, he's more or less dropping on the shot. Stopped. But of course, if you play as much as Ronnie
96.
O'Sullivan,
Well, that's a... And his average shot time.
106. 115. Foul. Tip chair was 6.
Trick shot to finish it off with. Ronnie O'Sullivan in full flow makes another century break, and he now leads by 3 frames to 0.
yeah, broom handle the other way round. Wow.
And then he's finished up snookered.
Not too sure where Tepchai's up to at the moment. He's having a bit of a nightmare out there.
He's left this red here. And
One.
immediately Ronnie.
I think there's 4 reds
8.
now that will go without any disturbance of the pack.
9. $16. Ronnie
Has he
O'Sullivan,
got away
16.
with this? Well, there's a red fawn. Come on,
1.
Tepchai.
He's got the ability, even if he's...
Nine. $15.
That helps in that sort of situation. And of course, being
21.
as fit as
Straight on this, maybe at a manufacture an angle. Yes. Just had enough room to miss. All things considered, this is a great
29.
response from... Played some fantastic stuff in the
36.
qualifiers, so you'd expect him to be mentally in form.
37.
Oh, short on this blue, but he can probably manufacture a positional shot. Good stuff.
the scoreboard. And that's incredible. That was
Un-Nooh.
an interval 4-0 behind. He'll remember that one.
1. 8.
Having 2 reds on the top cushion, and 1 if you were trying to cannon a red out.
15.
Would prefer to cannon them out. Oh, he really does make light work.
At least one of them. And he played it right into that gap. And every
38.
chance now that it's going to be 4-0. Missed that sitter, really. It was an easy shot that he missed.
Absolutely brilliant. Destroying Tepchaya for his mistake.
44.
Total punishment. Balls were. Tepchaya's got to go back to the dressing room
49.
and repair the open.
52.
After 40 minutes.
50. 61. 60.
It should have been 3-1, but it's certainly not. It's 4-0. Ronnie O'Sullivan with a couple of century breaks, a 74 and an 85, goes to the mid-session interval, just dominated that session. 4 things around. Tepchaya gets it underway. And that might be in behind the yellow again. Not quite, and he's left.
Yeah, it's risky if you don't get it behind the ball colour.
1.
'If he's straight, I'm quite comfortable to get on the black, but yeah, no problem. He could just
5. 13. 29.
A little bit out of position.
And when he pots this red,
Another master, I think. It was an easy break to make. Very easy indeed.
43.
one more loose red. And
50.
would be over. Just reds up. Well, that's just superb. But the side that he had on that, so Tepchaya's come out after the interval.
I know we've seen so many breaks from Ronnie O'Sullivan, we get
65.
close to the next pot. He's been the correct side of every shot, as little as possible.
73.
Just not even 4.5 minutes. And that was the reason that he created
81.
history. Minutes and 20 seconds. Careless one there.
88
So
in the frame.
no century
Ronnie
break,
O'Sullivan.
but it was just a break off, and that was it. Ronnie O'Sullivan didn't make the century break, but he made enough to take the frame. It's now 5-0.
Finals even.
Yeah.
And I said, my answer, Ken, was seeing this man in full flow is the greatest sight in world sport that I've experienced.
Well, he's up. I mean, for us, he's up there with the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, you know, Roger Federer. He's one of the top sportsmen with his other hand as well. I mean, just scary talented.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a joy to watch. Dennis and Steve.
1.
Well, that was a joy to watch, that long pot from Tepchai there.
Not on this shot, but for the rest of the match, either capitulate. He's capable.
4.
You never know.
Well, that record-breaking.
If he makes mistakes on positional play and whether a ball spots or not, that's another story.
Two goals. Tepchai Un-Nooh 10.
Yeah, 5 minutes and 20 seconds for a 1-4. Next closest to that. Could be Tepchai's. Minutes.
Well, we don't forget, but I was just going to name great safety players. Another excellent safety. He won't be taking anything for granted. He'll keep playing this type of snooker.
Foul.
Yeah, he had to play that.
Obviously not allowed to do that deliberately. That would be catered for in the rule book, but it's an interesting one. Quite a way out with that. It looks like it's continuing.
Tony Knowles beats
right, yeah.
someone with ginger hair.
Yeah.
10 frames to 1.
It's not like a 10-0 though, is it? Ooh, look at that white ball nearly starting to curve back. Yeah.
One.
Oh, that's gone wrong.
So it has been done on 2 occasions.
1.
At least a frame on the board. Ronnie will be making it as difficult as possible for him to do that. Another just hasn't settled. A little bit embarrassed out there, even though Ronnie's playing brilliantly.
And perhaps as fun as a publicity stunt.
Nine.
In the middle.
17. $25.
Just got a little message through, Steve. We're in Toronto.
Sorry, Cliff. I know it was only 3.5 minutes for the break.
Well, he'll be loving every minute of this. Still plays, Cliff.
I'll tell you what, you can't always played early on that were picked up upon that may have been That's another art of the game you have to learn, because there are other players in the tournament who maybe wouldn't
50.
make it.
$66.
Well, this match will be played to a conclusion tomorrow morning. And how many
73.
frames are there going to be? And listen, they're all flying in, even an unusual double into the corner.
He's not responded, but even so, what a standard he's produced.
76. And a frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan wins another
Ronnie
frame.
O'Sullivan.
It's a procession at the moment. 5-0, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, he is a class act. You know, he's going to go on and win tournaments, but he's made look like an amateur. Look, even his break off there is made look like an amateur today, you know, because of the brilliance of O'Sullivan and the intimidation.
An opponent like this. Easy starters for Tep Chow. Yeah, well done.
1. Other side.
But you start to see even positional problems.
This looks a bit pacey, needs to pull up, and it's not going to.
Wow. He was shaking his head earlier. It flew in.
7.
Back. Well, it chose not to as well.
50.
Great effort.
Well, that's one of the best
Yeah.
splits. Come on, Tep Chow, let's see you win the
20.
frame at the.
Well, fantastic effort from Tep Chow, especially as he looked
30.
really despondent in his chair at the end of that frame.
31. $46.
Good position. Well,
62.
it looks as if he's going to. No, I think it got a kick also there because it seemed to straighten up. Unfortunate heavy contact. Well,
1.
we're only taking the up. This is far from easy. Oh, now can he get? He's got to be careful the white doesn't follow the red in if he gets too much.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 8.
Found its way to the top cushion.
One.
Well, he
If you believe it's true, he's going to win a frame.
But he shot in the middle of this break where he potted the black and split the reds up. That was one of the best splits I've seen from that position. Superbly played.
4.
Doesn't matter about running out of position
11.
there.
$11 to frame.
Well, it's not going to be a whitewash, so Tep Chow will be absolutely delighted. He's a long way behind, but at least he's got his first frame on the board. It's 6-1.
definitely the case. Both players trying to do that.
Foul.
Maybe taken his foot off the gas, or rather lost the momentum. Absolutely love to come out of the session 6-3. I'm sure Ronnie would settle for 7-2.
Well, goodness gracious, what was that touch?
One. $15.
Unlucky this.
Hitting full in the face. Nice little judgment swerve there, although
21.
lost position here though. Unavoidable collision with the red. Yes, but not from the jaws of the middle pocket. Made to look very easy
20.
indeed. Something to be said, Dennis, for playing with the fluency and mess over it.
He just sees the shot so quickly.
35.
And, as I say, he ran out of position. I remember some seasons back when he was doing a little bit of work with the fashion wear, where he was just chipping them out 1 and 2 at a time. But as you said, I think he's lost just a little bit of focus at the moment.
Get every one of those, can you?
Mind you, look at that replay, and the red seemed to jump.
Yeah, may have bounced. No reaction from Ronnie anyway. We did see
Un-Nooh
the red jump in the air a fraction.
Just to roll that in. Oh, has he fluked it? Oh, dear me.
1.
It's not so much the fluke, as you say, Dennis. It's what you do afterwards.
But isn't it funny not having a reaction from a crowd when someone flukes like that? That would have brought the house down, that fluke.
Well,
4.
I think the decision to have the crowd, so somebody up there in Sheffield is pressing the button when record things. That would be a mad world, wouldn't it, we live in?
They would need to know a little. One of the tournament directors could be doing that.
And we could have a button for crisp packets.
30.
What are you talking?
20.
And it's not that Tetchai didn't have
26.
a chance in this frame. It.
The fluke here.
Tell you, looking after this match superbly well. It's not easy for the referee. Doesn't matter about the red.
41.
That's another one that slipped away from the tie player, and Ronnie O'Sullivan just keeps marching on, and he now leads 7 frames to 1. Oh, we're back to normal, Jason. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'd be able with the mute button to be okay.
Oh, that's a wonderful pot there.
1.
It's not only the pot, it's the balk line. Middle pocket. And safely in.
$14.
He's one on the blue right. May choose some type of
20.
split of the pack.
The chalk fell out of his pocket and the white almost careered into it. He just got it away in time there.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 23.
Speed in his cue, that arm going all the way through, punches the left it on the floor. End of break though. Maybe you've got a chance. Chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan here.
One.
Didn't really get that cue ball move.
9.
Same shot again going into the reds.
Which he has
17.
done. It's in frame 6. Just one visit. World champion.
25.
Just over an hour and 20 minutes. And he's still at 13.
30.
And somehow
40.
player that we never really seen mind break.
49. $57.
Well, he starts a possibility he could cut it in the middle. He got to the reds okay, he got the cannon but not the
65.
pink, but
Down the
what
frame.
an exhibition
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
from
Thanks,
Rocket
man.
Ronnie
Nice to
O'Sullivan, acknowledged there by his opponent Ted Chow. It was all one-way traffic. He was absolutely brilliant. You can't do much about that. And Ronnie O'Sullivan wins the session by 8 frames to 1.
One lead, and you have to say, Stephen, this was billed as a big match, but there was only one horse running yesterday in a 2-horse race.
Yeah, I think if there's lots of now, because this might not last long. 2 frames out of the 9 yesterday, over 10 minutes. Average speed 13 seconds a shot, which is just outrageous.
He didn't half hit the ball well yesterday. I mean, Sepp Child unfortunately set his own a bit, and he was very, very good in the break building department.
Yeah, that was a few players were saying, or a few people were saying as well, that this was one of the toughest draws. I didn't think so. I think Sepp Child was made.
Really, the fact that 2 players get on, I was always obviously fancying Ronnie to win. But it was just, hopefully you're going to see 2 players doing the stuff. But yesterday it was all about one man.
I mean, straight away that one was played well. Also, just a touch of check side, just to straighten the cue ball up. Very rarely ever plays a safety shot without any
Ronnie
side.
O'Sullivan.
Seen him a few times, obviously, on the television, and 9-9 with Judd Trump.
Oh, it's not. Sepp Child is a brilliant, brilliant snooker player. He is just so talented. I love watching him play. And yeah, last year, I think he potted
3 times he's qualified with a draw. He's had Judd Trump, who went on to win it last year. John Higgins, who's won the championship 4 times, and now he's got Ronnie O'Sullivan, so he can consider himself a little bit unfortunate.
Chaya, that's first mistake that might cost him. Again, on a beautiful drag, touch of check side.
1.
That makes it look very easy.
Six years since he's been in the final. 7 years since he's won it. Amazing to think with that amount of talent that he's got.
You know, last year, I think they said. And so maybe he's just enjoying playing snooker, but he's overcut that one. That was a slight decel there.
Right.
So an unexpected chance for Tepchaya.
1. Seven.
Looks wonderfully fluent when he plays, and of course, I always think left-handers look really attractive at snooker. Some great left-handers over the years. Jimmy White.
Chose just to try and promote that red towards. It's in. He just wants to pop balls and clear the table, but that's probably why.
20.
You can go one of 2 ways actually. You can you can free your arm and think, okay, I'm going to get beat. I'm just.
Absolutely no problem, you would think, for Ronnie. Just a cluster of 4, but like now. How's your luck?
17.
Lovely. Want to get this match over with as quickly as possible.
33.
Go back home for a few days before a player who's knocked him out here before, in Ding Junhui. Although Ding will have to up his.
Yeah, his scoring looked good. Water and Clash. That'll be Ronnie versus Ding. It'll be a break building clinic. Two of the best in the game.
47.
I have to say it's the first time in, well, from places on this form.
55.
That's the wrong price. Looking. Of course, he'll have Steiner opposition as the tournament goes on. You'd expect it. It is the World Championship after all. But
61.
Yeah. Just left-handed shots. This is not disrespect laying at the ump. And then he did do it deliberately after that, which was even funnier.
how many of them are so good with an opposite hand? I mean, it's just
75.
too far away.
80.
Force.
86.
Shell and peas. 9-1. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Everyone. Tepchaya. Un-Nooh. Breaking off at 9-1 behind. Oh, great shot. Oh, that is just the shot of the match so far. Class. What a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue it's a lot easier to play the shot at 9-1 up than if the match was very close, but it's still just a beautiful snooker shot. It really is.
9.
In style.
You haven't called the M word early on, have you? You're not calling one of those.
If this works out.
17.
Again, beautiful shot.
Played a few shots left-handed in the last round to, as you mentioned, amuse himself. been some quick matches at the Crucible over the years. That's your
33.
quickest match. Yep, that hair appointment you had at 11 o'clock. I think you're going to make it, Stephen.
35. 36.
Oh, a little careless one. Didn't play to go into the bunch there. Let's force it round off 2 cushions.
Ronnie Sullivan 4.
Slightly too thick, but as ever. He's 9-1 down, and now he plays safe. Vent. Tap.
Foul and a miss. Tap channel 4.
Decides him about, but I wouldn't blame him going for this one. 9-1 down. Why not? I thought he was taking the other red that was inside of that one, but that was a good pot. A mistake from Ronnie. But this is terrible with the cue ball.
5.
Such a margin there.
Tap channel 5.
Superb. Lovely shot.
They're 21 points.
8.
Easily 2 hours and easily beat the record.
16.
Yeah, it's been but as you said earlier, John, you've still got to do it, and he looks healthy. He looks.
And sets us up, of course, for that should be
40.
well worth watching.
But
40.
argument at social media who's the best, and as Ronnie misses the black, it won't matter.
48. Final match.
An absolutely dominant performance in the first round, and he beats Un-Nooh 10 frames to 1.
Well, it's lovely to see the respect that both players have for one another.